What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the best show in all of pro wrestling and sports entertainment. You know we're talking about the Royal Rundown. I am one of your hosts, Serge Vicente. Joining me is my co-hostess with the mostest, Miss Drede. Miss Drede, what is going on? Welcome to the show.
What's going on? Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday, right? It is
It
still
absolutely is.
Tuesday.
Still
It is
Tuesday.
still
It's when we do
Tuesday.
this. Yes. Yes. How is everything going today? We had a big weekend. We had, in fact,
Man,
before we even get into all that, because I do want to know, because you had people over, you was doing stuff, you had a fight party. All right, and I got to hear about that. But we have a lot to talk about, and what we're going to talk about today. So on today's menu, we're going to go ahead and discuss and give our recap to AEW Double or Nothing. And then after that, we're also going to go ahead and discuss our favorite matches from that event, favorite moments from that event, as well as did that event ever end, or is it actually still going? We will find that out, but we'll also talk about the other organization's big event, Hell in a Cell, that's also coming up this upcoming weekend. So we'll talk about that and so much more. Thank you guys for watching. If you are watching live right now on the Scrap News or on the Fire Podcast YouTube page, we appreciate you guys. Support the show as well as support the Scrap News. Fantastic journalism, combat sports news from all over the place. Great articles, great content. I love what they're doing over there. Absolutely go ahead and check them out today. And while you're at it, go ahead and pick up some Fight Podcast merch. You see Miss Drady over there holding it down, has some of the, one of the mugs. I'm holding down one of our hoodies right now, so you can see that. Looking fantastic. So go ahead and get yourself some merch. All right. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Miss Drady, look,
what up?
It was Double or Nothing this weekend. We had stuff going on. Let's just break it down. Let's jump into it feet first. First and foremost, the build. How are you going into? What is your excitement level going into AEW Double or Nothing?
Going into AEW Double or Nothing, super pumped, super geeked, super excited about it. 3 matches in particular, I would say I was really like up for, right? Obviously,
and which ones are those?
The 3-way AEW tag team championship match was really geeked for that.
Right.
It was pretty geek for Hardys versus the oh Lord Jesus, the Hardys versus the Bucks. It's been a long weekend. The Hardys versus the Bucks, and then was really looking forward to that Stadium Mayhem thing. I thought that would be like a fun little digs to break up the monotony. And then, the title match, like the title match, I was really pumped for Punk, Chicago's very own versus
Chi-Town stand up.
Hangman Adam Page, and was really interested to
Cowboy.
see where that was going to go. Obviously, all the shenanigans with MJF, that was just shenanigans from the build-up.
Let's just go ahead and start there, because that was the first match of the night. And we're not even talking about, I'm saying, very well placed. We're not even talking about the handsome devil himself, Hook and Housen. We're not going to talk about them yet. Hookhausen. We absolutely love them. I hope they don't stick that around, because I want to see Hook do his thing and cook. Okay, I absolutely want to see that. But
let Hook cook.
Let Hook cook. That's the one for the day. Let Hook cook. But we want to let's go ahead. I say MJF. MJF goes out there. We get news. I'm getting tweets left and right on on Saturday. MJF missing, media obligations, not a big deal. I don't think anything of that. People miss media obligations all the time. But the next thing from Sap, when I hear stuff from Sap, I mean, Sap's not whack. I have the time I believe in what Sap has to say. So when I seen it coming from Sap said, he said he booked a flight. And with all the drama and everything that we've heard, which a big part of me felt might have actually been a work, it seemed like might be coming to reality. Like, what were you thinking leading up to this? Did you even think he was going to show up?
Yeah, you know what? It's again, this world gets real gray real fast, right? And so I thought there was some truth to it, because there had been,
gang.
of course, Chi City all day long. There's always been some sort of like, there has been some talk about MJF and whether he was happy with his contract, whether he's talking to WWE, whether WWE's talking to him. That talk has been going on ever since MJF kind of, decided
became
to kind
the
of break
character
out.
of MJF,
right, break out and do what he's been doing for the last several years. So hearing this wasn't necessarily surprising, that he missed a meet and greet and potentially booked a flight out of Vegas and all this other stuff. So like, that was really, I just knew it would be interesting. I'm like, this should be interesting. They even removed the promo video off YouTube for a night, for Saturday night into Sunday. So it's kind of like, the one thing about AEW though is that they know their audience very well. They know their audience is all the way on socials. They know that they're looking for all of these little things. That's why they can tell sometimes intricate stories, or sometimes too self-indulgent sometimes, but they do
a few times.
Yeah, but I mean, us nerds, we love it, but not everybody's going to be into that, So, with all of that being said, they were smart enough to make this all a work if it really was. Like, I would trust that this was, a very smart work if it actually was. What I actually think happened, I actually think there's some truth to this. I really think this is some Punk in 11? I think it was 2011 when he did a very similar thing.
Very shoot worky.
Yeah, very shoot worky. There's some truth happening. I think, the reports came out today that, or yesterday, that they actually had a meeting yesterday evening with Tony Khan, and something has been discussed. I think that meeting was always on the books for after Double or Nothing.
Absolutely.
Like that sounds something very always on the books-ish.
Yeah.
And whatever happened, whatever transpired in that meeting, we'll find out whenever we find out. But I do feel like there is a bit of truth to this. I think that he is looking to get a pay bump. I think he's trying to get it sooner than later, even though his contract isn't out, anytime soon. I think he's trying to get it sooner than later because of the direct and immediate impact he's had on the company. And
absolutely,
you say this all the time. We are pro talent here. We are
absolutely pro talent.
We are pro for the wrestlers, meaning get your money. They throw themselves.
And let's be honest, he's worth it.
Exactly.
He's worth it. I mean, how many times they didn't use Punk, him to get over Punk. They use, they use him to get over Punk. Like I disagree with that. Well, I think of what you think is a happy accident both ways.
No, I think he got the rub by having such a good feud with Punk. People forget that you can get over in loss. And that is a hard thing to do, but it's something that wrestlers have been doing forever. How many times did The Rock lose in his prime?
Rock lost every day.
Often.
Every single day.
And he is still very much that.
Yeah, and you're right. Some people can take L's.
Yeah, now, and I think MJF is one of them.
Okay, and I'm glad you said that because you're talking about historically and the way certain things work, and I'm glad you put it in that way because historically, we already knew coming into this match that this was set up for Wardlow to win. We already understood. We saw what was coming. He was going because of the stipulations, right? If he won, he was going to be AEW. They weren't going to not have him in, right? That was just unfathomable. So the fact that we have that finally coming to fruition, it's there, it's coming, and that happens. But the way that it was done, he took 10. He had 0 moments that he looked. Now, granted, the little Three Stooges eye poke you dig had me weak, right? Like that was fantastic, fantastic. But
pop for that.
Oh, absolutely. I giggled my ass off. But I'll say this. When you see the way he went out, which was essentially a squash match, I've heard a lot of people refer to it in the way that when wrestlers back in the day will go out of territories, they would end up just getting absolutely squashed to put the other guy over. And again, they were riding off into the sunset.
Right.
That's what it looked like. That's what it felt like. Is that the last time we see MJF wrestling for AEW?
No. Tony, if we do that, Tony is an idiot. If we do, y'all heard it here. If that is the last time MJF wrestles for AEW, if they let that man go, Tony is an idiot. unless there's some backstage stuff we know nothing about, and MJF is just like a complete jerk face for real in real life.
Well, I mean, which is a possibility. But you know what? It seems like Cody likes him, and Cody seems like he likes good people. So I'm gonna assume he's a decent guy. Because if Cody Luther King like you, I'm sure you're a decent enough guy. You know.
But my thing is, and let's be clear, you know, Tony isn't, you know, he's kind of working against some things, like, you know, all jokes aside, right? I call Tony an idiot, but whatever. I mean, I do whatever. You know, but I think that, you know, the fact that Cody is the one that brought MJF into AEW, Cody has now left and is back at WWE, you know, there is that element where you're like, this could really happen. I mean, it's a very strong possibility, right?
Yeah.
So I'm never going to write that off, but Tony would be done. He's got his own, you've got current CM Punk and like a dude who is a needle mover on his, like, and he's homegrown with y'all. Like, absolutely. Why would you lose that? Why would you lose that? And why would you lose it like this in such a
public way?
Weird public-y way. To me, if they're going to be the company that, you know, a lot of us who are fans of this company hopes that
which we are. Yeah.
We hope that they are just smarter than this, right? You're smarter than this, and you are, you know, we want to feel worked. We want to not know. So please keep working us all day long.
If you're working us, I'm here for it.
Then then we have stuff to talk about, and that is exciting, you know.
And by the way, salute to MJF for coming out with that fantastic robe. He came out there with and you already know, I do not speak. His ass is like Voldemort to me. I do not say that man's name on this show. You know who I'm talking about, Charlotte's daddy. So, you know what I'm saying? Like him, but him coming out with essentially that young homage that, you know, he had on the robe. But come on, that was fire.
And he can do it. Look, I think we haven't found somebody who's so easily hateable since The Miz. The Miz is probably the last one that was so easily hateable.
It's a very similar energy. It's something about the face. It's extremely punchable.
It's extremely punchable. It really is. And he's old school. He's a heel all the time. He's a heel when he meets fans. He's a heel when he does interviews. Like, he just keeps that. We haven't seen that since Taker. Undertaker's the only one who like keeps, you know, and he just turned that off 5 minutes ago because he retired. So
yeah, and you know what though? You
gotta respect it.
The closest that I've seen him to, and he kind of goes in and out, is the Ariel Helwani interview. You saw him kind of go in and out of it a little bit. That's the most I've seen him get to it. But aside from him and let's be honest, Roman, who else really stays like in kayfabe that much?
Right. And Roman doesn't even do it. He does it more now, but he's still in and out because we've already seen him as Joe.
I know you, Joe. You can't hide from us anymore, Joe. We see you.
You know, we've never met Maxwell. We don't know him.
Or this might be Maxwell. Who knows?
Or it is. We don't know.
Or this is Maxwell. But okay, let's keep it pushing because it was great. It's a squash match. I'm curious to see what's happening next. What was another match that really stood out to you? Because again, I'm gonna throw it out. I'm gonna say it. You know which match it was. It was wrestling versus sports entertainment, and that was chaos at its finest. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. If anybody wants to see, and maybe I'm stealing this from a tweet or I'm high, I don't know which one it is. If it is, and I stole it from you, I'm sorry. But if it's my original idea, I'm sticking with it. But if you want to sit there and actually see the difference between the WWE and AEW, just show them that little clip of Eddie Kingston looking like a zombie, holding that canister of gas that probably cost every bit of $170 if it was that much. As much as he poured out, it was definitely $79.97 for that amount. But if that's the case, that is what you show them. You say
Not
this
the
is the
exact
difference
price.
between WWE and AEW right here. Yo, a great match. You know me. I'm not here for the blood. I don't like it.
There
But
was so much.
this it felt like an event. It felt like something was happening, and we were witnessing and being witnessed to a special moment in wrestling history.
Yeah. I agree. That was probably like the most fun match of the night. That's probably the one, one of the better ones. I mean, we'll talk about how we felt about Double or Nothing as a whole, in a minute. But, I feel like if the show wasn't that long, this would have been even more hype. Like we would love this even more. It came right on time. We needed it. We needed some shenanigans and some chaos.
Oh,
And it
absolutely.
came
Because this was at
right in
like
time.
hour 6.5
Hell,
or something around that point in time. Yo, this
seriously,
had to be, and we haven't
this
even
pay-per-view was
talked
ridiculous.
about it or even cracked any
Ridiculously long.
jokes about it. This is far too long. I mean, come on, man. I know most of us had Monday off, but
I think it
give
was
us a
5
break.
hours. Was it 5 hours?
I don't know. I'm not even gonna lie and say I
Because
watched
nothing
it all.
needs to
I
be
had to
5
double
hours.
back and see stuff. I had to
No,
double back.
nothing needs to be 5 hours. Like
nothing.
Nothing.
At all.
Now that's allegedly they made it this long because they were
do you know
trying to
how
compete with
much?
the playoffs.
Yo, damn
But
that.
like,
Do you know
why?
how many of those events most of those, I hate to say it like this, call me the bad guy. Most of those were absolutely not even Dynamite. Those were freaking what's
They
their
were
Friday
Dynamite
show?
matches.
There were
Stop it.
Rampage matches. Okay, Dynamite. There was a couple of them were
it.
Dynamite matches. They had some Dynamite matches up there, but they shouldn't have been like, for instance, prime example. I love Darby Allin. Darby Allin's fantastic. The speed in the way that he just throws his body like he does not care is something to behold when you go out there and watch him do his thing. But that should not have been on the pay-per-view. I'm sorry.
Not at all.
It shouldn't have been.
I agree.
And another one. Look, I hate to say this. Both of the Owen Hart tournament ones should know. And granted, I know why we did it and everything, and I know it's special, but the way the match was and the matches themselves, those are not pay-per-view worthy matches.
I disagree.
Keep them off.
I think
that's okay. I'm fine with that.
I hear you though. I'm not mad at it, but I think the significance is because it was Owen Hart. So I feel like
I understand.
That's pay-per-view worthy on its own. Now I love Death Triangle, and I'm here for the House of Black and all of that. We could have done that match on Dynamite. We go ahead and finish it off.
You know
that
what?
could have been on Dynamite for me because we already had two multi-man situations.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we didn't need that trios joint.
And unless that could have been this upcoming week's thing, but they wanted to do the reveal. That's what it was. They wanted
but they already took 7,000 years to do that reveal. We could have they could have waited one more. Julia Hart's been going black since.
Yo, to the point that we seen the paint under her eye patch. We knew what y'all was doing. Y'all weren't even slick about it.
Like, I love a good build, but baby, we could have done this. What
you are absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct. I can't
those are just a couple, just a few that could have. I mean, that we could have done without. I mean,
yeah.
But
you know what? And I'll tell you one thing. I give you a disappointment that I had. I absolutely tell you the one that it almost hurts me to say.
This I know, don't know.
You do know.
Okay.
Go. I mean, what do you think? Where do you think I'm going with it?
Are we talking about disappointments, or can we still talk about like half of the? There was a few good things that happened.
We're going to talk about some of the good things. We going on how I feel in the moment.
We as a Royal Rundown team unit family members, we are not happy with the AEW Tag Team Championship.
Oh, I wasn't even going there, but I am with you 100%. I was talking about that terrible, terrible, terrible match with the Hardys. And
you're going there.
Oh my God, that was bad. Oh my goodness.
Was it bad, or was it just
Jeff
not as good?
Jeff looks like he needs Epsom salt bath, and he needs to just relax at some point in time. Yeah, he looked like he was struggling. I'm sorry, that match itself, it was clunky. It seemed like they didn't have chemistry. Like it was such, and the thing is, I've seen them do it before. I know that they can cook. I don't know if it was an injury thing, but that match just did not work. It was such a disappointment. Now, let's talk about this tag team. Ugh. We have over in Rampage, they have been cooking for the last 3.5 months. The only thing, it is literally the most entertaining story aside from Wardlow and MJF. They have been making Team Taz versus Swerve and Keith Lee. And it has been
and you gotta, they are the actual champions, the Jurassic Express. They're in there too.
Well, no, but that's not what I'm talking about. But here's the thing. Where I'm going with that is that we've had people that have been doing so much to the point that they're so over with the crowd. Both of them, they've had great events. They did, and honestly, the Jurassic Express was kind of the afterthought. They threw them in there like the last 2 weeks. Like, hey, let's end up doing this match. And let's be honest. Don't nobody care about Jurassic Express like that right now? Especially what? You can look at me in my face and tell me they're more entertaining than FTR right now.
I will not.
Look at me and tell me that they're more entertaining than either of the other two teams that they were in there with this past week.
I definitely can't say that.
You know what I'm saying? I feel about them so just from process of elimination, they're already 4th down on the list. Why are they winning anything? And I'm sorry. Look, Luke Perry's son is fantastic, and I appreciate the hair and the big gorilla or dinosaur, whatever the hell he is. Jurassic Park is coming out. I forgot. It was a mask. It was whatever. But he, saying Jurassic Park comes out next, June 4th. Go see it or whatever. June 10th. Jurassic Park. So do their thing. Maybe that's why. They had him win. But aside from that, they should not have won. What a waste. And then now to talk about that Swerve and Keith Lee, did we just waste this whole feud? What was the purpose?
Yeah,
what are you
doing? So the booking is confusing to all of us. Like, and me, I miss trying to find a silver lining. And thank you, Mystic Black. I appreciate you, sir. No, but it's just, it doesn't make any sense. I told you in the beginning, I told you guys last week, I thought that we want Swerve and Keith Lee to win, but I thought that this might have been Team Taz's time to get a win on pay-per-view. And I think that would have been one of those moments where, cool, now we can kind of build some feuds off of this, some more stories, get some more stuff out of this. These are 3 really, really talented tag teams.
Absolutely.
They could have done more.
I mean, and I'm sorry. It's
Darnell says your hair looks good too, Serge. So just he didn't want to leave you out.
I appreciate you, man. I do.
You didn't want to leave
you out. Real quick, since you're watching, Darnell, shoot me a text real quick. I need to send you this invite because I want you to join in on the conversation.
Let's go, sir. Let's go.
Yeah, that's how we're doing this. We're having fun.
It's just so mad. It just is interesting. Now, granted, I feel like my instinct is telling me, all right, cool. They're letting Jurassic Express win over these 2 hot tag teams to give them some credibility in their title run. I can see that logic. Cool. And we're building to this maybe eventual turn with Christian Cage, right? Christian Cage might turn on them, whatever.
That's another one. We're talking about things that are wait, lasting too long. How many times have I seen Christian stare at the back? Is he looking at, young Luke Perry's hair? Is he enamored with the hair? What is he doing? Damn. I don't we've seen him. For a prime example, right? And again, talking about AEW real quick, to think about the way that it may be in the match that you said with Game of Thrones versus the Demon Mexicans. What group is that?
Death Triangle versus House of Black. Yes, Game of Thrones versus the Death Mexicans. Is that what you just said?
The demon Mexicans.
Help him, Lord.
So that yeah, so that one we know what we're talking about. So that match in itself, right there, right? That was something that because I forget which one
It's a
got
good
injured.
match.
It was a
It was a
fantastic match.
mad
But
like, yeah,
all of this stuff is stuff that should have happened a long time ago, and we haven't
sure.
known what we're doing with like a lot of these people because I feel like it's just everything's been in holding mode,
Or are they
and
coasting, right? Like, are we coasting?
yeah, it
Here's
feels
the thing.
weird, right?
It feels weird, and I think I said this before, like, is it weird because we're so used to WWE's every single month has a pay-per-view, so storylines kind of like, if they drag from pay-per-view to pay-per-view, but at least there's something, like, every month to kind
Right,
of get us
right,
to the next point, versus AEW is on a more traditional pay-per-view schedule, like it
right.
used to be back in the day, so stories do take longer to get to that culmination
Okay,
at a pay-per-view thing. It's probably both though. Like, let's be clear.
okay.
It's probably they're taking too long and we're used
Facts.
to stuff kind of moving a little faster than that. And let's be clear, WWE is good for squeezing a story too damn long as
Well,
well.
look, we ain't gonna we gonna talk about WWE in a little bit. So we're gonna because they're not on my greatest side either right
And
now. This is
Serge gonna
it,
start watching Impact this week because he over it. He's
no,
over everybody.
I was literally on my computer looking up New Japan. Like I was
He's
out
over
there.
everybody this week. Forget
Like I
everything.
was smooth looking at New Japan stuff. I'm like, what do these guys got over here? He told me they got some young kid who's badass, who's very angry too. So what's up with him?
So what's going on with him?
Yeah, I want to see what he's talking about.
On a very light note, I mean, I know you saw your Sora with her pink and green hair. You saw Jade with the pink and green hair?
Looking fantastic as always.
Yeah.
And speaking of Jade, let's talk about our boy Stokely. Goes out there, the former Malcolm Bivens. My man goes out here, and you know what? We said it a few weeks ago.
We did.
We wanted to see him with the baddies. He is now with the baddies. And I am telling you, this is going to be the best thing smoking in pro wrestling and sports entertainment. They are about to have big fun.
Begin. Let the foolishness begin. It's about to be some memeable, tweetable, Instagrammable, all kinds of fun stuff going on with them. It's going to be a good time. That's a perfect fit. Putting Malcolm Bivens / now Stokely, with those ladies is honestly
it was
decision. That's such an easy move.
Well, let me ask you this before we even talk about the main event of the night, because we did see a couple people come out. It wasn't just Stokely. We had a number of guests, not guests, should I say, new signings. Out of the new pickups, who was, in your opinion, the best? Because I'm gonna say Stokely, in my opinion, is the best pickup you can get. No matter, mine is getting a huge star. I don't think anybody compares to him, but they did have a couple other ones, especially some amazing pickups for the women's divisions. What are your thoughts on the other pickups?
Yeah, I think Athena for the women's division is going to be great. The former Ember Moon. She's a really great wrestler. She's an underrated in-ring worker. You know what I mean? And like, I think
had a match with Swerve recently.
Man, and like, here's the thing. I think a lot of the criticism she's gotten when she was with WWE about her lack of charisma for it, when she was there. First of all, I don't necessarily think that is true. I think towards the end, maybe sure, because it was towards the end. But when she first dropped, she was full of charisma. Sunday was the most charisma I've seen out of that girl ever. Like, she was
really quick before I let you go, because I want you to continue that thought, but we're gonna bring somebody on now, and I'm bringing on one of my guys. He is coming on. He has a fantastic show, Mystic Black. He is also the baby, Burt Watson. He is out there doing all the behind the scenes stuff for all of the promotions that you know and don't know. This man is working his ass off. The man, the myth, the legend, the mystic one, Mystic Black, Darnell Giovanni. Darnell, what is going on, brother? Welcome to the show.
What up, guys? I try to be artistic with my background like you guys. I try to get the same setup. I'm trying to be like you guys because this is just too beautiful human beings. Good to see you guys. Very happy to be here. I appreciate for you guys having me on.
Absolutely,
man.
Well, how's everything, man?
Good, good, good. Just got back from Mississippi. Definitely, a different place, but I had to work. I had to work.
Yeah, do what you got to do, man. Hey, I ain't mad at you, but don't stay there long and make sure you keep your head on a swivel.
Different place.
Different
Mississippi.
Check it out. I know, like I said, you are a huge wrestling fan as well, and I know you were paying attention to what was going on with AEW this past weekend. We are talking about pickups and some of the big signings that they just had. We can count Wardlow as one of the signings. What do you think was the biggest signing of the weekend for AEW?
Who else did they sign? Did I miss some people?
Was,
Athena.
Exactly. Yeah, Wardlow, Athena, Malcolm Bivens, and the other young lady. I can't remember her name.
You know what I love? I love the Malcolm Bivens thing. It literally lit my heart up like crazy because I think he is amazing. And to be completely honest, why was there a white guy behind Jade Cargill? Let's be completely honest here. I don't know if this sounds good. Why is there a white guy?
She just kept telling them shut up all the time, and we're like, right? Why are you talking? Sir?
Why are you talking? And they bring my man. Wait, what do they call him now? They call him a different Stokely.
Kind of sounds like some respect on Stokely's name.
I love that. I think that was my favorite one of the night. The Athena was great because
she's a great pickup.
She's not a great wrestler. She's an amazing wrestler. They'll probably let her work more on the mic as well in AEW. I like to see her not put into a women's world championship straight up, but TBS championship, and they have a good rivalry between her and Jade. She can teach Jade a couple things in the ring because Jade is still fresh within this wrestling industry right now. I think she's 2 years in. That's going to help her. That'll help raise each other's stock whichever way it goes. Yeah, and I would be okay if Athena beat Jade for that title. I feel like that's a good person for her to drop that title to. So I love that pickup. That was pretty good.
I love it. No, you're absolutely right. I see that those signings, and again, for real though, like, why did they have some white dude like trying to step behind Jade? Like, I always thought that was wild. I think I might have said it. In fact, I know I said it on here before, but I absolutely know I said it on here before. But it's one of those things that was definitely it was a great pickup. It's a great pickup. I'm glad to see he wasn't out there too long. You knew he was on the road. You knew he was working on something. He was one of the ones that I mean, I was sad to see go, but I think we were really going to be able to see the way the AEW, how much more free they are with certain things. I think we're really going to see him cook. And like we said, right, a couple seconds before you joined us, we are about to see some shenanigans and fun. Like, it is about to be nuts. So we're going to see all the memeable, gifable stuff about to happen because they're going to run away with AEW, really.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick. For you also, we were talking before. In fact, you know what? We just gonna move on because, like I said, we'll talk about this and I will pick it up on the back end with this one. Main event. We haven't even talked about it. It was a good match. I'm not gonna say it was a shitty match because it was a fantastic match. Was it a match? Was it what it could have been, or we thought it might have been a few years ago? Maybe, maybe not. But it was still a solid match. CM Punk, Chi-Town stand up, gets the dub. Let me ask you this. Is CM Punk being the AEW champion a good or a bad thing? Dre, I want to start with you.
It's a great thing. I don't care what anybody says.
I don't care. Is that your Chicago bias? It's okay if it is.
Maybe. I don't care.
Just making sure.
No, no, it's not. I mean, I really think that we have to be like this is a business still, right? Like, and yeah, absolutely, we know AEW is supposed to be the face company, quote unquote, right? And a lot of people are turned off by the whole former WWE guys getting the top titles often. I mean, we've had Jericho was their first champion, Moxley, and now we've got Punk. I am pretty sure Bryan Danielson run is coming soon, as well. For at some it should at some point. You know what I mean? Like, so I know people are a little turned off by that, but I just don't. To me, it was so obvious. This is the summer. We've had a summer of Punk, and every single company that man has wrestled in. Did you
notice every time Punk does? Not only is it summertime, But every time something he does, he changes his look. You see the beard getting a little bit more grizzly. You see, he's in the lab. It's like Jay-Z. When Jay-Z start letting his hair go, he in album mode. When he starts changing his look, my man's in album mode. We are about to get, and I pray, please, heel turn. You know how I feel.
It's coming.
I want everybody.
It's absolutely coming.
Absolutely want it.
He does his best work as a heel. Summer of Punk is always one of those moments where he starts as a face and then he goes gets a little crazy, and then boom, and then we get to the good, that lovely heel Punk that he does so well. I'm gonna throw a deep cut out here. Serena Deeb also lost on Sunday.
Who?
Does anybody know why? Does anybody know? Why I'm mentioning this right now?
Straight Ed Society, baby. The connection.
That's what I'm saying. So I just feel like, and that would be a callback AEW's audience in particular would appreciate. That wouldn't work everywhere else, right?
Can you imagine? They bring that back together and they still have connections with not Carl Anderson. What's his partner's name? That was
Jesus, the Good Brothers. What they are?
I'm forgetting his name.
Our brains are terrible.
But anyways, it'll come to us. But they still have that connection. But I just want to harp on that CM Punk thing real quick.
I want to ask you, what do you think?
I like how he had a lot of different matches with almost everybody on that roster before he even got to this point. Like he wasn't just fighting only big guys, big names. He was fighting Lee Moriarty on a Wednesday freaking Dynamite. He was fighting Hobbs when he first got in there. It's just great to see him work his way up to get to that point, so it kind of feels better. My only thing is, as good of a match as that was, I don't think it was a great match. I think it was a good match.
I agree.
The build-up was weird. It was confusing a little bit in a sense of like, where exactly are you guys trying to, like, it was too fast, I want to say. When they first announced it, I was hyped. Because Adam Page has great matches. I love Adam Page. But Adam Page is he's still a little green on the mic. He's still a little green on the mic. He's still young. So he kind of didn't sell, especially if you're going to have him get against CM Punk going back and forth on the mic, he's going to look bad. So they kind of got to, I hope this Wednesday, because they're going to have a rematch. It's not going to be just, Adam Page just disappears. There's going to be some kind of a rematch. But they got to get Adam Page to be a little bit better on the mic.
And that's when we might end up seeing, we'll probably start seeing some of the nefarious means of, CM Punk doing certain things when he wants to get this dub. We might see that because, absolutely we're going to get CM Punk as the champion going into Chicago Forbidden Door. He's definitely going to be the champion for that to happen. And we absolutely need to see him walk in as the champion. We need to hear that music, and we need to see him walk out as champion, and we need to hear that music. That's what's going to happen.
Who does he face?
It was always going to happen.
Who does he face at Forbidden Door? Who does he face?
Who knows? I just started watching New Japan yesterday.
He really did. No. I want him to fight. I've been wanting him versus Kenta since 2013, but that's just me. And I don't know how. I mean, I forgot. I thought I knew it. I thought I heard there was talks for that, and then they dipped off, and I don't know. But like him and Kent, like the go to sleep versus go to sleep. I don't understand. It's
right itself.
It's right there. G. Like do it just for me. Like, and I don't care who wins either. Just do it.
Okay. Well, real quick, in terms of that, so you guys are both in agreement that you think that CM Punk being the champ is a good thing.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see the summer CM. I love that. Okay.
And really Adam Page will be fine. Like Adam Page will be fine. He's mad over. Yeah. He's great. He'll be fine.
No more lariats for CM Punk. Let's stop that. I know that was a cool idea, but that's no more.
I love that after the fact on the mic he said it. He was like, "Yo, I ain't doing that ever again.
That again, and
we're
fine.
Terrible.
Tried it, done it, not doing it again."
Thoughts on FTR walking out there with him at the end?
Love it.
Yeah, it was just.
You mean all of Brett's sons? You mean all of Brett's wrestling sons?
They had this. You see the shirts? Brett's sons, all three of them on there. I was like,
so
that's sick.
I love everything FTR is doing. It's such a old school, just like we know how to wrestle. We know how to wrestle very, very well. They don't need to speak too much. They just do what they have to do in that ring. It's amazing. I love it.
And when they do speak, you believe them. You believe every single word that comes out of their mouth, and that is so important on the mic.
Real quick, just my little fantasy booking little tidbit real quick. Only person I really care to and I want to see as AEW champion, and I need to see him get it just because I want to see the pop. I need Eddie Kingston to be the AEW champion. I need it. I need the moment. I want it to. I want him to beat CM Punk. I want him to be the one to beat CM Punk, but then I want him to lose it like soon afterwards because it's Eddie and that shit happens that way. But I need Eddie to go out there and beat CM Punk.
You don't want a year-long Eddie Kingston AEW
I would love it. I would love it, but we know what it is.
Eddie could do like a cute 3-month run. It'll be fly. It would be fly, but I need that. Ever. And him and Punk, do you know how stupid that crowd would be? That crowd would be ridiculous.
Come on.
They really don't, and they don't need to do a bunch of crazy wrestling moves. They could just brawl for most of that. And everybody will be like, yes, so just give us what we want, Tony Khan.
Give us what we want. Give us what we want. All right. Really quick. Let's rate this pay-per-view. Scale of 1 to 5. Where do you rank AEW Double or Nothing 2022? Our guest first. Our guest today down there. Yes.
I'll take the pressure off of Andrea there with this one.
You saw my face.
I know, right? Honestly, I hate to compare stuff, but I have to compare it to other Double or Nothings.
Absolutely, that's what we should do.
They had a lot of good matches in there, but I feel like a lot of build-ups could have been better. So, and there were some lackluster performances, with the Hardys that they just looked like the oldest team I've ever seen in my life.
Look terrible.
And then
look absolutely terrible.
Just
rickety, just super rickety.
The random Kyle O'Reilly against Darby Allin, that was just random. Not to say it was a bad match, but
Dynamite, man.
Dynamite. It would have really dope. It would have been a really good match on Dynamite.
It was a filler. So before I was going to give it a strong 3, but because Jade Cargill is that bitch, I'm going to give it a 3.7 out of 5. 3.7 out of 5. On that Double or Nothing, honestly, because there was just I can just pick certain things off of that, but it wasn't a full just like back to back. No, and I don't think there was any I can't even name a classic on there. And usually AEW is very good at wrestling, like the pure wrestling, but something just seemed a little disconnecting with that Double or Nothing. I don't know, and I know you guys talked about it already. The tag team thing made no sense. How Swerve and Keith Lee didn't win that, or even honestly Hobbs and Stark didn't win that, made no sense. I don't get where they're going with that. It's very confusing, but I'm docking points for certain things, but
no. Hey, no, brother, speak to it. I'll let you talk about that for another 5 minutes. Go right ahead.
I'm good. I've never been more confused. I mean, it was a mistake when the Jungle Boy and what's his face Jurassic Express got the belts because Ray Phoenix got injured. That's why they won those titles.
Right.
But okay, give them a little run, but let's move those titles to a team that's gonna, that's an actual.
What team is more over right now?
None
than Swerve and Keith Lee.
None.
First of all,
FTR FTR is the only one.
What finisher is more impressive than Swerve and Keith Lee? Who looks like they're having more fun than Swerve and Keith Lee? Like, yo, what that clip of that move that they have now, where Keith Lee is on the outside apron and Swerve runs off his chest and does a backflip and onto these dudes right on the ground. And do you see the joy in Keith Lee's face? He ain't had this much fun in decades. Like, he is running around there. It makes, and here's the thing: nobody in AEW. it's hard for me to think of anybody who has been more over than Swerve and Keith Lee. Like the way the crowd explodes when they walk in is nuts.
Yeah, it's a consistent.
And I would have been okay with the other guys. I would have been okay with Hobbs and Shaw or whoever the fuck Fast and Furious.
Hobbs and Shaw. Go to bed, Serge.
Yeah.
Go to bed, Serge.
Hobbs and Shaw.
I can't.
Get it? Because he's little DJ.
What was the other thing you said? The Mexican Killer Club. What did you call the? What you call
the demon Mexican? What? And then he called them the House of Black, the Game of Thrones crew. I'm like, go to bed, Serge. Like. Foolishness.
It's great. Shout out to Julia Hart. That took too long. That took way too long, Julia Hart.
Shout out to Julia Hart. Shout out
to what kind of 2-year build up, right?
She was committed. You hear me?
I got nothing. I was gonna make a joke, but I'm not even gonna do it. I'm not even
gonna do it. Dark for a year.
Really quick. Oh my god, yo, she's been going like that gimmick. It's like I started watching AEW like a year and a half ago, and I knew that was coming then. Like this is crazy. What's it called? Did they not tip their hat with the Owen Hart? Like both winners just happened to come out rocking pink.
Oh yeah, a lot of them have been wearing. A lot of them have been wearing pink though during
this was
the tournament
though. Like I was like, come on, man.
I mean, the second Britt walked out, we were like, oh.
Here. In fact, and I'll say this: the reason that I'm going to say, and I'll give it my ranking. I'm giving it a 2, and the reason I'm giving it a 2 is because at the end of the day, one. It was long as fuck. Okay, like, and nothing should be that long. And then after that, I'm sorry. It was
so long.
It was so long.
Like, yo,
and we like wrestling, and we were like, "Is it over yet?"
Like, and like,
there are still 8 matches
never-ending
left.
story long. This thing just kept going and going and going. And it's far too long.
We could have watched Titanic twice. That's how long this pay-per-view was.
Come on. And then here's the thing: they tipped their hand, and this is why I was also so irritated with the fact that there wasn't a change of hands with the tag team match, because there was nothing exchange hands. So when the main event came, you knew what was gonna happen. They tipped their hand with it already because there was nothing. So you're gonna be like, oh, you guys gonna have a pay-per-view and nobody, there's no belts exchanged. That's not gonna happen. So they went out there and tipped their hand again. It was a poorly put together card. Some of the matches were okay, but they weren't great. It was average at best. This was a meh, outing in my opinion. That's why I could only give it a 2.
My rating is a gentleman's 3.
Gentleman's 3.
Yeah. So I fall a little higher than Serge, but a little lower than you, because okay. And I'm giving a gentleman's 3 because I agree with literally every point Serge made, except for a few small ones. I think the card it was entirely too long. I think we've stressed that pretty well, that the show was too long. I don't know if y'all know this, but the show was entirely too long. And it was too long. I think the one thing that they do, AEW almost always does well, is the order of the show, though. The order of the matches I thought was perfect. If you're gonna, unfortunately, we know that there's some matches that didn't need to be on there, but that order, the way it built, it kind of was almost like you watched 2 different shows. You watched 2 different pay-per-views. And it was almost like when the second half started, we was like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
All right. And if the second half was the show, we might have a different conversation. We might feel different.
If the second half was the show, I might have been like, if they just gave me pro wrestling versus sports entertainment, you give me the tag team match,
the tag team,
what I'm saying?
All
you
the
give
titles.
me obviously all the titles, That's it. So essentially,
and
you
I
give
would
me
even
six match.
sneak.
You give
And
me
we
a solid
disagree.
UFC match or card. You give me 7 solid matches. I'm happy. Let's go
Yeah.
7.
3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours. Let's go home. I like it.
Three is the long. Your big, Double or Nothing isn't that supposed to be their WrestleMania, or is Double or Nothing? Is it
That's
not? Is
pretty
that?
much.
Is
That's
it
their
not
biggest
that
card.
anymore?
That's
So that's
supposed
why
to
I was
be their
confused
big thing.
because
That's why it was
all
garbage.
the other 2 Double or Nothings have been so good. You know
Not
what I
the
mean?
ones, we the 2s.
What is
So
the how Double or Nothing used to have like a whole different like setup too. It was just a regular like Rampage, not
they
Rampage,
were
It did.
in
Dynamite
Vegas.
Dynamite.
setup.
It did.
You
Yeah,
were
in
in
Vegas.
Vegas and you didn't use it like they normally do. Hell, I'm still thinking of Moxley, you know, paradigm shifting Kenny Omega on poker chips, on giant
Yeah.
poker chips. Like, and that was their first Double or Nothing. And so I think it's hard
That's
because they
interesting.
very rarely miss on pay-per-views, right?
Yes.
And
Their
so
last pay-per-view is phenomenal.
AEW, all of their pay-per-views have been have been
Good.
great to dope, like great to amazing. This was just like, which is why I think this one we're judging so harshly. It was probably actually just good, like it was fine. That's really what it was. Double or Nothing was fine.
I think the
It
length
wasn't.
hurt it also.
But the length hurts
The
it.
length hurt it also.
The length hurts it. And so that's why I said I'm gonna give it a 3, just objectively. I went back and watched a few things because again, I had I had folks over and things and such. So we were, watching it as a group. But I went and rewatched a few things. And to me, I think that there were no bad matches. Hardys versus Bucks was shaky.
It wasn't good.
It was shaky in a mug. And I think we just love the Hardys I'll speak for myself. I love Jeff and Matt Hardy so much. Uncle Jeff and Uncle Matt, you know what I'm saying? I was more worried than like judging it. I was too busy like, oh, please don't hurt yourself. Doing a lot of that. But yeah, a 3. It was fine, but it wasn't great. Now, if they change a couple of those match outcomes, they give us the AEW Tag Championship title switch like we wanted, we would be talking about 3 5s and 4s.
I swear to you, I might have said 3.5. If they gave the titles to somebody else, I probably would have said 3.5. Yeah, but that loss made zero sense to me.
Well, I think it deflated me. It deflated me, so I'm sure it deflated
absolutely. And here's the thing too. Like, so you mean to tell me? I mean, Jade is blackity black, and I appreciate you, my queen. But like, man, come on, man, we got Scorpio. Can we get some more black? You know what I'm saying? Give this team you literally had a team 4 black dudes, and you gave them 2 white guys.
And what else you got to do to get over? Like, because those 4 dudes
have been killing it.
Have
First
done
of
everything.
all, I'm going to say this, and I don't care if it's controversial or not.
Set up now.
Ricky Starks is what y'all wish and what y'all hope MJF is. Ricky Starks is what y'all hope that dude is. He is a better performer. He is actually a better fucking heel. That
more
dude
athletic.
Is far more athletic.
He's a better talker.
He is a badass. He is better on the mic. That dude, give him the opportunity. He has been killing it. Great at what he does.
So you know what?
This want MJF to be.
This
we don't hate MJF.
Put some respect on my guy. I love MJF.
And this is something
MJF.
This is something
is my guy.
This is something that I was going to tie into what I wanted to ask you guys. Is what we're watching right now a Cody effect in the sense of he's not there anymore, especially on the back end of creativity, especially on him working with young guys like MJF, especially with a lot of things that he's done for that company. Are we actually watching a Cody effect? Because Tony Khan is great, but he doesn't have that longevity of a mind of the business. So we might be seeing a lot of novice mistakes from Tony Khan. Are we? That's the question. Are we watching a Cody effect right now?
Oh, I love that thought because I think I thought about that when he left, but I didn't think about it again. Right? Because we focused so much on camera, his character, his wrestling. Did it? And, I had a fleeting thought about the backstage presence he would have and the creative presence he would have. And in theory, we're also working without Kenny too, because Kenny's, breaking. Kenny Omega's on break. healing up and stuff. So this is really a Tony Khan and the Bucks productions at the moment. And they have other producers back there and stuff. So we don't want to disregard that. But that is a really great point.
It's a great point because honestly, is this the first major pay-per-view that doesn't have Cody's? This is the first pay-per-view that doesn't have his fingerprints on it, because the last one still had a lot of his fingerprints all over it. So you think about it, if this is what I mean, yo.
Might be onto something right now.
Wait for me, sir.
It might get ugly. Like let's if that's the case. But
and if we're honest,
they've been doing some good stuff leading up to this. It just seems like they missed the mark, though, right?
I felt like they were like pressing or something.
They were doing great. Like I came in here, we were watching a couple episodes ago, and I was like, yo, it's been like 3 weeks in a row, and I mean, back to back, they've been killing it. Dynamite after said Rampage, Dynamite, Rampage, and it was just great show after great show. Like I was exhausted watching the wrestling on Rampage. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my god, this is just so much in such a fast time. Like it's just crazy, right? But it's like, so I've seen great things, but I'm curious to what you're saying now. Now I'm going to be mindful of it. I want to say they just had a bad day at the office. It happened.
Bad day, yeah. And not even a bad, like a not as good day, like a not as good as
office. You went out there, so your shirt wasn't pressed the way it was supposed to be pressed. You know what I'm saying? Like when you took your sandwich out the bag, it wasn't as fresh as you wanted to. It was one of those days.
You ain't had your coffee till 2, that kind of day.
What I'm saying? You went there, so went to the office, you pulled out your Keurig, all the Keurig was gone. You know what I'm saying?
Remember
where you wanted.
In the beginning, AEW was seen as wrestling by wrestlers. Now it's wrestling by Tony Khan. So I feel that he's controlling a lot of things, and he had trouble with other wrestlers.
Maybe that's why Maxwell isn't happy.
Yeah, and Maxwell's looking over there and seeing, damn, they doing that with Cody. They letting Cody like be himself and do whatever.
Cody looking like a shiny toy.
I don't know. And if MJF comes over, Vince loves the MJF, a guy who's great on the mic like that. But I don't know. I have this inkling in me, and you guys, I might sound crazy. They might take MJF and stick him on NXT. I don't know. I don't know if they put him on the.
I think MJF might be out there running around chasing fucking Tozawa and then that 24/7 title. You do it to prove a point. That's to be out there looking like a buffoon wearing some Burberry chasing around that damn belt.
Yeah.
Yo, come on, man. Vince would do that shit just to prove a point.
I mean, a fun random shenanigan thought I just had is that if MJF did sign with WWE, he could actually go into a feud with Theory, and they could fight over who's Vince McMahon's top, the top pick or whatever.
Copyright that right now. Somebody's gonna see that. Copyright that right now. Don't let them take that from you. Don't let them take that from you.
Told me himself that he said that she needed to be out here writing, but she just chooses to kick it over here with me. It's okay. I appreciate it, but she needs to be over there. We're writing for them because I'm telling you right now, they absolutely need help. People, how bad is WWE right now? Oh my god! Because
this is one of them shows that they're like, why did stuff suck this week? Like, what is going on?
Awful.
I'm sitting there. I'm sitting there yesterday. I'm just like, this got to get better somewhere. That something's gonna happen. Something's gonna get nothing.
I got one better. It was on my television for an hour before I even realized it. That's how bad it was. I said, it's 8:00. We should turn on Raw. And it was already on in front of me.
At this point, I'd rather watch an episode of Velocity. I'd rather watch an episode of Velocity at this point. Like, better just everything all around.
Give me the year 2000 WCW, please. Give me Vince Russo WCW over that at this point.
What? I just don't understand who. I feel like they're doing a lot of stuff to where they're writing the show 2 hours before the show starts. It's seeming like everything.
Absolutely. And you know, we used to hear about that, right? We would hear reports about them doing this, but like, this has actually been happening for years now, where you can actually see it. We're like, they obviously rewrote this joint 2 minutes before doors. Like, what are we doing? I'm also, can we just talk about the most annoying thing that they've started to do? They've been doing this now for most of this year, where the number one contender has to beat the champion for the chance at the championship.
It makes zero sense.
Tell me why.
Can someone explain it to me?
It doesn't make sense. And then it's like
because if I beat the champion, I want the belt, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's like, it doesn't make your champion look strong. It
At
doesn't
all.
make,
because now you got to beat your champion twice.
Yeah, and then it's like, we just saw this person beat the champ. So it's like, and then you're giving me this ridiculous 50-50 booking, which I personally hate. I don't think we should have 50-50 booking. It's like, I don't want to see Sheamus and all, you know, Conor McGregor's gang against the New Day every week.
Sir, that is number 3 for you today. You know what?
Sheamus and the Leprechauns.
Like, they literally trade wins back and forth. And then here's another thing. Have I not said this? We said it. Protect the backwoods. Protect the backwoods. Why are we consistently seeing, how many roll-ups are there now? Every win? It's like every a roll-up. Not every week, not every win on an episode of Raw should be a surprise roll-up. Oh my God, look what happened. Surprise win. I got you. Bye.
Surprise win.
Ridiculous.
Because it doesn't help anybody, right? Like before when you had a surprise roll-up, right? It was,
it
the
meant
person
something.
who used it was smart. And, you know, the person who got used on, they're still strong because they just got caught up. Like, you know.
And you always saw a small person do it to a big person or something, right? Like exactly.
Keyword surprise. If we see it every week, it is no longer a surprise.
And that's why the idea of the backwoods being something was so cool. If that was going to be his actual finisher, right? Because then he can get creative with it. But then as soon as he did it, I feel like every other finisher is that recently. It's weird.
Raw is so interesting. We're talking about SmackDown.
Yo.
Right, so interesting that we're talking about SmackDown. Can Tommaso Ciampa get an entrance? That's all I ask. Can he just get an entrance? My God, they just have mans in the ring, no entrance, getting the same match every week, rooting
him. He lost his first name.
First of all, we see him lose. Even though he be winning the matches, does anybody knows how many times he loses within those matches?
And if you watch the main event, if you watch WWE main event, he's actually a face. What are they doing? I am lost. And hold on, guys. One last question. Sorry, I want to tangent here. What exactly? You might have talked about this before. Maybe I missed it. What exactly is the Judgment Day? I'm a little confused. What is the Judgment Day? What are we judging? It
is Edge's Fight Club, okay?
It is Edge's Brood Light.
It's
Edge's Ministry of Darkness. Is that what we're going for here?
Yes.
That is it. There it is.
Edge's Ministry of Darkness. You see the eyeliner and the haircut.
Okay. And then we have the bullet. No,
the Water Gun Club. I don't know what's happening.
The Super Soaker Club.
The Super Soaker joint.
Yeah, the Super Soaker Club.
Yeah.
What do you?
None of it makes
Here's
sense.
the thing: if they would
after they gave the Bloodline all the belts, the writers all went home. They went on vacation.
Let's give them all the belts at this point.
I need to see Paul Heyman with the 24/7 title next.
Oh, please. Mind you, can we Sami Zayn and the Bloodline being like the Bloodlines, like big number one fan is like the dopest shit. I love that.
I love it.
But again,
because Sami Zayn
SmackDown doesn't
Sami
suck
Zayn.
like Raw.
Again, we are still talking about SmackDown. This is still happening. Yeah. It's still happening.
I'm
foolish.
I forgot to ask you guys just one question
Yes,
from
sister.
before.
I know, right?
Before Tomas got dropped. He does. He got a jobber
Yeah.
interest. Like Tommaso Ciampa from Charlotte, North Carolina is in the ring. But
Damn.
let me ask you guys this question. And once again, I know we're talking about Raw, but I'll just go for it here. What we were doing it anyways.
Yeah.
Why does it the Blackpool Combat Club have the same entrance? I know I'm going to back to AEW.
I like it. They're too big because Mox, they're going for crowd pops for TV. So Mox gets a pop.
3.
Daniel Bryan gets a pop. And then, of course, Willie Regal's going to get his pop. And, we're still working on Wheeler Yuta. And Wheeler Yuta's, on the move, on the rise. So we love that for him. I'm not too mad about the, 3 separate entrances for those guys because of who they are specifically. Now, if that was Judgment Day,
oh
that's,
my God, I do
that's
not
different.
need that.
We gotta have Edge is your head. Let them all come through with the Edge joints, unless like last night. I think Rhea had a match on her own, and she didn't. She came out to her music.
Oh yeah, her new music, and it was like a mixture.
Music.
Yeah, interesting.
Right. I feel like if you don't come out with the crew, then you can use your own music.
Oh, and here's another thing too. Look, I'm gonna ask you about your girl Darnell. I don't understand this. I hate to say this.
Ain't no way. Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
Do drop. I am
Don't
sorry.
You do it.
No way in hell. Alexa Bliss.
Wait, I gotta do this. For the Royal Rundown listeners, if you did not know, our lovely brother down here, Mystic Black, aka Darnell, loves him some Dewdrop. Okay, that is his boo. That is his thing. That is it. Okay. And
speaking of boo and things, congratulations to Charlotte and Charlotte Andrade.
They got murdered.
Sorry, continue. It just made me think of that. When you're talking about boos and stuff, it made me think of that. I'm sorry, continue.
Sorry, listen, talk about your boo Dewdrop.
They gonna go in there and disrespect her and let some
I agree.
Itty bitty teeny weeny Alexa Bliss beat her like that.
So little, yeah.
Nah, dog. It wasn't even like competitive. Like I don't understand that.
A squash match.
Are we supposed to push Nikki and Dewdrop as some like Scottish, kind of, maybe tag team because they don't have anybody with the tag team champions right now? Push a tag team. What are we doing?
You mean the tag team tournament that they've canceled? That tag team tournament?
Oh, wait, they canceled it?
That's what I heard. That's
my God!
I've heard that tea as well.
I seen that on the Twitters. I'm just saying.
I don't know what's going on right now. I don't know what's happening with Alexa Bliss.
Do we even
I don't know what to do with Dewdrop. That's right. Damn right I am. Damn right I am. Damn right I ain't gonna deny it. But yes, I don't understand what's gonna happen with a lot of these female tag teams and female competitors. And it just and you know what? I said something to you guys in a text message, and I take it back. I said I don't understand why Roman has 2 belts. You know why he has 2 belts? Because nobody else deserves it right now. Nobody else deserves that belt right now. Nobody else deserves it. Let him have those 2 belts. Nobody deserves it. Cody, maybe soon, let him keep doing this. But besides that, anybody that should be wearing that strap, nobody. I love Drew, but Drew, you go back and
that moment. We talk about that moment when they teased a third, the Drew Day. I literally got like semi-geek. I was like, oh, somebody might be.
I knew.
I gotta grab some of NXT for a day.
I knew it. I knew it was gonna be Drew big ass. I was looking at the rundown. I was looking out. That's gonna be Drew.
Who is he? Like, wait.
Yep,
Drew.
I was like, it's Drew. I knew it was gonna be his ass come out there smiling with his fucking sword. Like, look, I was like, go please. What are you gonna say? Because I have thoughts.
How much are we missing Biggie right now?
Oh,
talk about your baby boy.
You just because I talked about your boo, you gotta talk about mine. That's fine.
It's respect. It's respect. It's respect.
It's still a little tough for me, you know. Yeah, no, we miss E so much. Like, because that
I mean, he seems like he's the only other viable star. It really seems like, because you're right. Roman said it best not so long ago on one of his promos. He was like, essentially, I've done it all. Who else is there? You pick him up, I lay him on top. And it's really one of those things that he looks around and he's just like, I'm going on vacation. Like, fuck y'all. Like, ain't shit else out here for me. Y'all figure it out. When you guys actually know who actually gets a pop, call me. Like,
right.
And
that's not, and you know what's, that's not their fault either. And we talk about this all day long. This is just build and creative. Like, they have talented human beings. Finn Balor and Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles even are all right there. Just there. Riddle is there. Montez Ford is there. And like, you just, and it's almost like actually, not almost. Every single person that I just named is a storyline away. Yeah. Just one quick storyline shift from being at a Drew level, right? And
Drew is not it. We all need to just put that away.
I like
somewhere.
Nah, come on, man. Drew is, man. When they do Drew correctly, he definitely.
You know what? Guy. If I know I sound like this all the time. He needs a little bit more edge to him. He needs some little, like, you know what? If he went to Judgment Day,
I'd be happy. Third one turned him heel too.
Is the sword not enough that he might stab somebody with?
No, because I know he ain't gonna use that shit. He just take it you know, like, get up out of here. Like, I'm sorry, ain't no dude in the kilt gonna, like, nah, I'm sorry.
We haven't mentioned this. We haven't mentioned this either, but I think they're trying to build Bobby Lashley is billed as one of the top heels as well, or excuse me, faces as well. Yeah. And like, he's just in this he's been in that never-ending story feud with Omos that has now morphed into, you know, whatever
that is unbearable to watch at this point. And they headlined it with this signing. Like, they could have done so many awesome things with MVP, like that angle with MVP. It's just, I keep seeing, and they keep saying the same thing. Bobby Lashley about to have to do the unthinkable task. Nick, he's done this already. I've seen him do it twice this week.
And mind you, you know what? I'm not like you, Serge, where I want to turn everybody heel. But if Drew was to turn heel, him and Bobby Lashley would be actually a pretty entertaining feud if they would just figure out a reason for them to fight.
It's easy.
Again,
I'm big. Let's go.
It'd be a flip of what they did before. And they had amazing matches. Yeah. Amazing. Come on.
Two athletic, big old men's, you know, what Biggie say? Big beefy men slapping me.
Yeah, man, me. Yeah.
And I love Omos as a person. Like, I've heard him speak. He's a great motivational guy and the things he's been through in his life. But, man, I would have kept Braun Strowman and dropped Omos, man, because Braun Strowman was just so much better in the ratings. Like, honestly, he was a very good big guy wrestler, athletic.
Braun was in NXT when I was interning there, and he's, you know, he was there for a while. He cooked down there for a minute. So when he did get his big push, you know, he was ready for it. You know what I mean? I thought it was built as a spectacle too. They like fake. They're not even fully giving Omos the spectacle treatment. They're giving him like this fake, this lukewarm treatment with it, and it's just like.
Man, they're giving me more excitement with Veer ass than Omos.
And it's outdated. Even the Veer push is outdated.
Very outdated.
Like all of, you know, it's not even the squash mash part. It's the I am this I don't speak monster thing. That that doesn't work for kids.
Well,
like, the kids is looking at it like.
Speaking, I don't speak monster. You know, we got, you know, Cody Rhodes, and we gotta. This has lasted much longer than I thought it was going to, but it's fine. There's so much.
I love it. I love it. This should go 4 hours. Who cares? I'm tired. I'm tired of just like, what is time? Let's time.
What is time?
Let's go. Let's go.
Well, let me ask you guys this then, because shit, look, let's go off and the lights just turn off. If that wasn't a sign,
right?
I'll say this. Let me ask you guys this: scale of 1 to 5. How hype are you for? We've been shitting on their product recently, but they do have a, what is it called?
30 seconds ago.
Not a PPV, not a pay-per-view. They got a
premium live event.
Premium live event.
PLE.
Scale of 1 to 5. How hype are you for Hell in a Cell?
Darnell, that's on you, G.
The only thing I care about on that pay-per-view is Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins, and that's all I can give one damn about. Even though I love Bianca Belair, I love Becky, I love Asuka, I don't care for the match. I really don't. I'd rather it had been one-on-one, if anything. The whole three-way thing. Yeah, I'm good. There's a lot of other feuds you could have went with as well. Like, come on, Bianca is a freaking superstar. Sell that woman like a superstar. I mean, they do push her, but like, give that
they don't give her the respect though. Like, because why is she? Why is her? Sorry, you just made me upset again about something that happened yesterday. Why is Asuka versus Bianca on a random day of Raw and not on? Why is that not the pay-per-view match for the title?
That's what it should. That's what I'm saying. I would have preferred it just a one-on-one. Not why is Becky in this again? Why is Becky in this again? Give her another feud. Alexa Bliss is right there. Make her go feud with Alexa Bliss. Come on.
Come out. I'm sorry. What I still can't get over them trying to have Alexa Bliss beat Doudrop. Watching, because first of all, I think her finisher is the most ridiculous finisher in the world. You have this 80-pound little girl jump up on the top rope and does this little like twisting dive, and she literally looks like somebody taking a doll and throwing it across the room at somebody. And she does this move and hits Doudrop, and we're supposed to believe that Doudrop would have hit Doudrop, and she literally would have just brushed her away. Like, I just brushed away my
look at her like this.
Like, come on, man.
It was better. It was better when she had that. Didn't she have a DDT finisher? I kind of like that one better because at least you can sell. You can sell a DDT, but that twisty turn thing.
She wasn't going to go ahead and DDT Doudrop. That wasn't going to happen.
Why don't they do something with like Becky, Doudrop, and Nikki, and have some kind of like Irish Scottish?
Well, I've seen this. Never mind. But Doudrop, I was gonna say Doudrop and Rhea, but they put on amazing matches together when they do actually, because they're actually both big, physical, and actually wrestle their asses off. So that in itself would have been but we've already seen it. Unfortunately, they could do so many things, so many different people, and I mean, they're really trying to push Raquel Rodriguez right now. I think
as a face. Why?
Why?
I'll be honest with you.
She grinning more than me. Why?
It like, she smiles so much it hurts. Like,
no, for real. Like,
oh my God.
It's forcing. It's like, dog, I know that ain't you. Hello, I'm Raquel Rodriguez. Look at my muscles. Like, and then she runs out there, and like, first of all, though, that her power bomb one arm spike thing is hard. Like, I love that finisher.
Love it for a heel.
Yes, a heel is supposed to spike you in the ground, and then you have her out here shaking everybody's hand and kissing babies. Like, no.
But that's, you know what that is?
I don't like it.
You know exactly what that is. That is one of those things. Because Vince McMahon has done this several times where he sees a wrestler and he sees something completely different than the world sees them. And sometimes it's genius, Hulk Hogan, whatever, but still, that is a Vince McMahon creation. Or it's this, or it's Bearcat Lee instead of, Keith Lee. It's always something very strange. And like, to look at Raquel Rodriguez and go, yes, she looks like the girl next door, the Latina next door, let's make her smile. Like, as if she didn't have a whole career in NXT as a heel, as an NXT Women's Champion, as if she wasn't throwing women around like they were sacks of potatoes. Like, let her be that. It was far more believable. It was far more believable.
Let her absolutely be her. I mean, that finisher is a fantastic finisher for a heel. That, like, all that. But I mean, again, like, going back into Hell in a Cell, how hype am I for it? A 1. I got one match on there that I want to see. I want to see Cody, and I want to see, because yes, this is the third time in a row I've seen this damn thing, and this is Backlash 2.0. I know this because it's all the exact same matchups again in some way, shape, or form. But Cody and Seth are two amazing wrestlers, two of this generation's best. And anytime they get in there together, they are going to put on a fantastic show. And you know what? If this is the culmination of this chapter of their rivalry,
part one, right? Of part one of their rivalry.
I'm because then you give it to me after when you bring him back up when Cody gets the belt next year. You know what I'm saying? Like that's when you bring that rivalry back up. But that's when I look at it. If we're talking about storytelling, like this is a great way to close this chapter. Then Cody goes and moves on to something else. Riddle gets squashed by Roman. Randy gets squashed by Roman. Then here comes The Rock. We have that match, and then Roman could lose the belt to Cody.
Okay, so hold on. I'm gonna answer the question, but I also I want to bring up a scenario since we've been fantasy booking this Rock Roman thing for Mania next year. It'll be a whole year.
Definitely
it'll be a whole year. We're going to tease this for an entire year. Like we're gonna do this at least once a week. But my hype, I'm about a 2.5 because I'm a little bit more interested in the women's match than y'all are. Plus,
I would be if I didn't see it every week for the last month.
I'm more I am just it's out of pure like fear that they're going to take Bianca's belt from her.
Becky's definitely winning.
No, don't play with me and my emotions right now.
No way.
I'll talk about that.
Come on, dude.
So I'm a little more interested in that.
I would not be surprised if we were sitting
either,
here.
And that's why I don't want to talk about
Bianca picking them both up at the same time and dropping them both. That's a finish.
Yes,
I'm predicting it right now.
I would like to see that. Yes.
Yo, because I can see that they're going to mess around, treat Bianca like Big E, and she's going to have that belt for 2 weeks. And
I'm manifesting that. No.
Stop speaking that right now.
Nope.
We are
taking out.
Burn some sage right now. I do have a question for you guys though.
Yes.
So
and we got to get out of here after this.
Yes. This is due to the whole Rock Roman, WrestleMania match we keep fantasy booking and hoping for and trying to manifest into the world. Does it need the titles?
No. It'd be nice, but no.
No. Nope.
So with that being said, do we get Cody versus Roman at SummerSlam? Cody wins, and that's when The Rock comes out. Do you know what I mean? So
or maybe he gives him some shenanigans.
But how many titles do we give Cody? Do we just put those titles together and make one, or do we just do this 2-title weird thing? I hate the 2 titles. I'm sorry.
In a perfect world, right. In a perfect world, he brings back the Eagle or something. Yeah. That's
what I think you do. I think that's what you have Cody bring back one of them old belts and be like,
this is my dad's belt. Intercontinental belt. It was dope.
Yeah, he'll do a new version of the Eagle belt, something within that vicinity, because this 2-belt thing. I get it.
Oh, that American Nightmare logo looks it got wings and I'm not trying to manifest that per se, but I just see it.
Baby,
woo. That tattoo. Every time I see it is aggressive. Every time I see it, I was like, "Yo, that was a choice. That was a choice.
That was a choice." But it works now.
Oh, hindsight, not right now. Yay. Chef's kiss. You did your thing.
Lord.
All right. Well, guys, look, but that I mean, we had to talk about the pay-per-views and everything. Darnell, appreciate you coming on, man.
Yes.
Really quick, man. For you guys, before we get both of you guys out here to get you out here with this parting shots, which matches, both things, this fantasy book right now, what would you like to see most in the WWE, and what would you like to see most in AEW?
I'll start. With AEW, more consistency in your stories and I know they're very good at long-term storytelling, but I feel like they've been doing a piss poor job at that recently. So I think they need to kind of be more consistent and stop throwing random things in shows out of nowhere just because you can. Timing is everything too. Better timing with some things. Just don't throw random things. I know you're signing a lot of people, but you don't have to just release them immediately. Take your time.
Right. Right.
Take your time. It's okay. And then with WWE, better story, better everything. God, better Raw. Just give us more surprises and not so much like we can see it coming from 10 miles away. More surprises. That's what I need from WWE. More surprises.
Nice. What would I like to see from AEW? I want to see more storylines with women that have more to do, like have more substance instead of just, you called me a bitch, we're gonna fight now. Like more, like, can we fight over something? I mean, Serena Deeb has kind of done a little bit more of that. I think they're going towards the right direction with this, but I want to see multiple women storylines in one show, and I want to see something that has more meat to it, not just I don't like her because, like, well, can I get a because? I don't like her, let's fight. I don't like her, let's fight for her belt. I want more. And maybe try to get a little bit more creative with the shots instead of always talking about who they sleeping with and whatever. I agree completely with everything you said about AEW storytelling right now. They've been in a bit of a downward swoop in terms of their consistency. So everything you said, I completely agree with. When it comes to WWE, can we stop the 50-50 booking? Like you said, Serge, that is killing us. Can we build new stars? Like, build them. You've got a bunch of like standout stars. You've got a bunch of ridiculously talented people on that roster, and you have most of them doing nothing of substance. They are all a segment away from getting like, okay, what's going on with getting fans into what they're doing. So I want to see more of that, so that when we're talking about who's going to take titles away from the title holders, we're not sitting here like, well, maybe this guy or this girl, and that's about it. Like, more of that. Yeah, that I think that would help with some of the inconsistency and how terrible it is to sometimes watch WWE right now. It's just, you can't buy into anything. Like, we were at least we bought into the Sasha Naomi stuff because it was real.
Yeah. Well, you guys said,
and that is a storyline they could have wrote.
Absolutely. No, well, you guys said what I was gonna say. Only thing I'll say is I want to see WWE. I want to see a Montez Ford push, and in AEW, I would like to see. I want to see Eddie Kingston be champ eventually. That's what I want to see. So we'll keep it to that. But everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Darnell, thank you so much. Mystic, really quick, man, let the people know where to find you. You're doing a whole bunch of dope shit. Let them know really quick.
You know where to find me. You see my name there. What you guys need to do is make sure you keep tuning into this show right here, because I predict that this is going to keep going and it's going to be on a big network. And that's not just a prediction. That's a spoiler.
There we go. Ms. Dre, thank you so much for joining us. Remember, everybody else, Ms. Dre, let people know where they can find you. Tell them, like I said, thank you so much for joining me today.
You see it right there. I'm on Twitter, Miss Dre20, just acting up, doing nothing, just talking about wrestling, talking about random things, trying to stay sane in this crazy, lovely world. You can also see me on IG, Miss Dre Day. Say what's up. I am here. Let's chat. Let's talk wrestling. Keep tuning in to all of the dope things this guy over here is doing over at the Five Podcast, the Scrap News, the Royal Rundown. You catch us here every Tuesday. You know what it is. You know what it is.
There it is. Appreciate you guys. Check us all out. And as always, when people asking you, what time it is, you just let them know this.
Yesterday's price is not today's price. Yesterday's price is not today's price. He's certified.